It was just an amazing experience, amazing feeling that the flat where she used to stay in, she moved out of, moved to her boyfriend, try this food, try this national food, because it's just amazing. The police just left, I heard some other footsteps, and as I grabbed my phone, I noticed that the cell service did not work anymore to get to my next city, which was Copenhagen. And to get to Copenhagen from Amsterdam, you obviously have to go through Germany. I took a train to Hamburg before actually going all the way to Copenhagen. And the whole train ride from Amsterdam to Copenhagen took about 17 or 18 hours. So it was another night train ride. And I arrived at Copenhagen at 7 a.m. in the morning, watching just another sunset as the day started, as all the people were getting up. Just a great experience seeing a city wake up, go to work or whatever, see how it builds up. So before checking out my apartment in Copenhagen, I had my first ever cinnamon rolls. Not Scandinavian one, I'm getting there next, but my first ever cinnamon rolls, which were just out of this world. If you haven't ever tried them, that's a must-have for you. And then I went to check out my apartment. The interior design of that place, the icons on that wall, there was even a little map of the world painted on the wall. Just great, I really loved it. And I had a great time with the host. He had some amazing tips and tricks for me to navigate in Copenhagen. We even talked about my YouTube channel, and I even think he subscribed to it. So if you see that video made, cheers to you for letting me stay at your place. It was just a great experience. After dropping off my backpack, I went into the city, enjoyed, the vibes I got there. Just an amazing experience, amazing feeling. All the noises, all the scents, all the smells, just great. I have to tell you, Copenhagen, I'm definitely going there another time, probably next year or so. I don't even know what to tell you really, because all I'm saying is it was awesome, it was great, beautiful experience. Check it out for yourself, because that's really what happened nearly all of my trip. There was actually a street festival in Copenhagen. I obviously checked that out. I had some awesome fish and chips right at the river, right at the sea. As the sun went down, it was beautifully warm, and I just enjoyed the evening at the sea next to the locals who enjoyed the warm weather, made some music, danced, jumped into the sea, into the river, and yeah, it was just an amazing experience. Next day I had a great breakfast in the city of Copenhagen before going to Tivoli Gardens. If you don't already know, that's a huge amusement park right next to the main train station of Copenhagen. Just got everything really you need in an amusement park, and a great garden which I checked out. I made some great videos and took some great pictures in this garden because it was just amazing. The flowers, the trees, the energy again, the scents and the noises of nature. I liked it. I really enjoyed it. I'm definitely coming back to Copenhagen. And after Copenhagen, I took a train to Sweden, which was the last country of my journey. I took a train from Copenhagen to Land in Sweden, where I hopped on another one to go all the way to Stockholm, which was just another very, very long train ride, but that did not matter to me, as I took time for myself, no stress, no nothing, no noises, just, enjoying the Swedish countryside, which reminded me a lot, actually, of the countryside back in Austria. These cozy train rides for hours gave me time to regain my energy, think and reflect about the trip, and really, be grateful about it and also about what's coming next. Obviously, my trip is not done yet. I arrived in Stockholm, Sweden at about 9 p.m. in the afternoon, so I took another tram ride to my flat, to my location, and my landlady, probably the most loving, caring and respectful landlady I've met on the entire trip. For 2 nights I got a whole flat just outside Stockholm, Sweden, all for myself. The Airbnb usually is like you get one room of the flat, but the flat where she used to stay in, she moved out of, moved to her boyfriend, and gave me the whole flat all for myself for 2.5 days. I'm so thankful for this lady. I'm so thankful for you. Alright, you guys, I'm here in Stockholm, Sweden right now, and I'm gonna show you around my awesome flat. definitely gonna come back here. I can only recommend it. But yeah, back to the video. But I didn't stay in the flat for 2 days. I obviously went back to Stockholm, enjoyed the architecture of the inner city, and I also had to make some space for pictures and videos because I definitely took over like 2K in those 14 days. And then it happened. My first Scandinavian cinnamon buns. As I told you before, I had them in Denmark and they were great, and they were even better in Scandinavia. I unfortunately am like this sweet guy when it comes to food. I have to tell you, these cinnamon buns were just out of this world. If you go to Scandinavia one day, it doesn't matter whether it's Sweden or not, try this food, try this national food, because it's just amazing. A great thing about Stockholm really is that it has a lot of nature in the city. So a lot of rather small parks all around the city just create these great vibes, the great energy. All the people are happy. I can definitely tell you that. Also, how big they are. Don't even compare that to Austria. Because I'm 5'9" and every single Scandinavian woman I saw was probably 5'11" or higher. So that's definitely a great thing about that country too. And with an evening stroll through the whole city, I ended my trip in Stockholm, Sweden. Just another cozy and also very romantic place, I have to tell you. The morning of the next day arrived, and on this day I traveled to the last city of my journey. I traveled to Gothenburg. And after just another cozy train ride through Sweden, I arrived in Gothenburg main station, went to my B&B, a great B&B, I have to tell you, because it's not easy to get a cheap, good-looking B&B inside of a main city. Shout out actually to Ross, my landlord from the B&B in Gothenburg. Awesome experience. We had a great chat on his balcony. He gave me some tips how to navigate through the city and where the best spots are. And I followed those tips, had a great experience in the city, found some awesome parks. I went to the supermarket and then it happened. As I was buying some fruits, my card got declined like 4 or 5 times. I even checked my bank account just to make sure it's enough money on it, but money wasn't the problem. The card just did not work anymore. And that only happened to me in Sweden. Back at home, the card worked again perfectly. After enjoying sundown with some great music, I went back to my B&B, changed my clothes, as Ross was inviting me to have a beer in one of his pubs, which was right under the B&B. Such an amazing guy, I have to tell you. An Australian with his own pub in the city center of Gothenburg, and I was his B&B guest. We drank a beer together, made some great jokes, watched some sports, I believe it was football, and afterwards actually a younger group of 4 people invited me to go party with them. And I really thought about it because it was my last day of the trip and I had to go back home the next day. So I said no, which turned out to be a great regret of my journey, and I'm definitely gonna take that opportunity in the next journey if there turns out to be one. So I packed my bags and went to sleep one more time in a cozy bed in the last day of my journey, just to leave Scandinavia the next day in what turned out to be a 28-hour train ride back home to Graz, Austria. 28 hours, more than a full day in, I think, about 3 or 4 trains. Was a long time, definitely, but I made it as cozy as possible with sunsets and sundowns and foggy mornings. I definitely had my experience. And then after 15 days of traveling by myself, I finally arrived in my hometown, Graz, Austria, which marked the end of a unique journey with stunning experiences, lasting memories, new friendships, and unforgettable feelings. And this was just the beginning. Thank you for watching.